In the name of Almighty Allah, the most gracious and merciful. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be on all. So, starting with the topic today, the process of communication research. As I have already talked to you about the elements of communication research, the process of communication research also starts with the elements of communication research: the source, the message, the medium or the channel, the audiences, and then the effect. The communication research process also moves as per the elements. First, it involves the source, then it involves the message, and what is the medium the researcher is choosing, and then who are the audiences. The audience, two types of audiences. As the first, the audiences for whom we are doing the research, and another is the audience on whom we are doing the research, or who are our sources, or if it's a group or it's a sample where there are many sources, we have to plan accordingly. And then the last one is what is the effect, or what will be the effect of this research when it will be known to the society, because research are actually not done to be kept in the libraries of colleges or universities. Research are meant to be done for the greater good of the nation, for the greater good of the country. If something is not discovered, since now the researches are done so as to make new things discover. Teacher under whom the research is done, he reads it, and the one who has done the research, he or she reads it, and then it's closed. No one knows what was in the research, and was the research really useful to be done, or it was just for a time pass. And nowadays, when you talk of communication research, especially most of the you have heard about these words like globalization, westernization, industrialization, advertising, degradation of cultures, degradation of religion, impact of media, impact of new media, impact of social media, impact of TV, as well as nowadays there are new aspects of the impact of social media on health, and effect of media on society, economics, politics, political sphere. Media is used in the political sphere, or how the media uses the political sphere, even in marketing, TRPs, moving towards homogeneous societies, destruction of these native populations, global language, global cultures. So most of these communication research are done nowadays on such topics. In the process of communication research, you have to analyze the elements also. Giving you an example of how to analyze a source, high credibility source or a low credibility source, how to differentiate and how to analyze. For example, there was an experiment done by the Department of Communication in the Yale University, where in a class, two groups of students were selected. One of the group included the students which, as per them, were the toppers, and the another group included the students who, as per them, were average students. So an academic message was given to both of the groups. The same message was given to them. Then it was told to both of the groups that you have to pass this message to your other classmates. So first, some of the members of the toppers group went and they passed the message to their other classmates. The people who listened to this message, who were the receivers, their other classmates, they not only believed the message, but they also started taking action on that message, because they knew that these are the topper students of our class, and when they will talk about academics or education, it won't be false, it won't be a misinformation. And when the same information was given to the average students, and when they were told to go and pass it to the other classmates, 70 to 80% of them did not respond to them, leave aside taking an action. So this is how we define the credibility of a source, the importance of a source when we talk of the process of communication research or any research. Then comes the analysis of the message. What is the message? For example, if the topper batch would have been given a message that at 2 p.m. there's a sports event, or there is some other non-academic event outside the college or outside the university. Most of the listeners or the audience won't believe to them, but the people, but the classmates who will be sports loving students, definitely if they will pass this message regarding sports, definitely they will believe it, the audience will believe it. So it depends on who is your source and what message he or she carries. The credibility of the source is important. There should be an arousal of interest. The people, the listeners, your audience, they should get interested in the message. The message analysis also depends on the credibility of sources and the arousal of interest. What kind of message it is it an interesting message or not? And also one thing to inform you that most of the research are done on the topics of interest. If a large number of people are interested in the result of a particular research, definitely that research will take place. For example, if we talk of COVID nowadays, whole of the humanity is waited a year for the vaccine to come out. In communications also, any research which is be done, most of the research are done on the topics of interest, as well as the attention value of the readers, will someone read it or not, and the final result. Also, when we talk of the analysis of another element of communication research, the channel. What is the channel? For example, if we have to do a research in a village, definitely we'll go for one-on-one communication. We'll directly interview them, we'll directly talk to them. And if we have to take information from people who are living in metro cities or who are far away from us, or we are doing some kind of research in which we have sources at different places, we can then directly send them questionnaires. So it will also depend on their literacy levels, their professions, their background. For example, if we go at such a place in a rural area, and if there are illiterate, or if they are knowing some other language, so we'll accordingly choose our channel. And if we are not able to understand their language, then we will definitely take a translator with us. And if the illiteracy rate is high, and we will accordingly use that channel which is the most suitable for them, definitely that will be the one-on-one and the interviewing style of communication, and asking them questions directly, face to face. Also, as Marshall McLuhan has said, that medium is the message. So while doing research, we have to definitely analyze what kind of medium we are using for doing our research, and where we are doing the research, and which medium will be the best for doing this research. During our research, if we have to talk to our sources, we can use the phone, or we can connect to them via social media, we can mail them. The medium depends on where you are doing the research, on whom you are doing the research, but you have to see what suits, what channel, what medium suits your research. Another analysis which you have to do in the process of communication research is the analysis of the audiences, on whom you are doing the research and for whom you are doing the research. For whom you are doing the research is the people to whom you want to know what the result is, be it your teacher or be it other society members who want to know the outcome of your research. You have to actually focus on what they want from your research. Obviously, will also focus on what your research is, what you want from your research, but for the greater good of the society, for the greater good of the people who will tomorrow read your research and learn something new from your research, definitely you have to take them into consideration as audiences. Another audiences of your research is on whom you are doing the research, who are your sources, who is your sample. So you have to keep in consideration all the elements of both the audiences, be it their culture, be it their religion, be it their way of life. Are they urban or they rural? Are they living in a plain land or they living in a hilly land? Or are they inmates of a warmer area, or are they inmates of a colder area? What is their political affiliation? And many other things which are related to a social human being. So you have to analyze all these factors before going for the research. Researchers find out the nature of their audiences in order to give them what they need. For example, doing research for advertisers. And what is the result? The effect is your result. So now we'll be talking about the scientific and the social science way of research, or we can say as a scientific and non-scientific way of research, or quantitative and qualitative research. We'll check out different aspects of the qualitative as well as quantitative research. The research, communication research. So when we talk of research, once again I'm repeating you so as to make you clear. Research, when we talk of research, be it communication research, there are two types of research: scientific research, non-scientific research. And then we also do the qualitative research as well as the quantitative research. So most of the scientific research is done in the quantitative way, quantity, and the non-scientific or the social science research is done in a qualitative way. Giving a simple example, for example, what is the difference between quantitative and qualitative? As I've already told you that scientific research are done in a quantitative manner and non-scientific or social science research are done in a qualitative manner. Take example of a human being, of a man. As per quantitative research, what he has a body, he has two arms, he has two legs, he has two eyes. His body is made up of meat. What he has a weight 70 kg, 80 kg. He has sensory organs, he has eyes, ears, nose. And take the same human being, this description of a man, this description of a human being, and for example he has 206 bones. This is the quantitative way of doing research on a man. And what is the qualitative way of doing research on the same human body, on the same man, is that he has feelings, he has knowledge, he has wisdom, or he does not have that much wisdom, or he does not have that much knowledge. That is the qualitative way of doing research. So this was the basic difference of make so as to make you understand the difference between the quantitative and the qualitative way, or the type of doing research. So what is qualitative research? Let's sum it up again. Qualitative research, the focus of qualitative research is on the experience gained by a person in a specific field, in a specific subject, and how much knowledge he has of that subject, and does he have valid proofs to prove his information that he is saying the truth. For example, if a person who has an experience of 30 years in politics, definitely he will be having a lot of proofs. He will be having occupied higher positions. He would have been a minister. He would have occupied some other top positions in politics of an area. And for example, if there is for example you are talking to a writer, obviously he will be having a lot of knowledge about his own field, about his own subject. If you are talking to a journalist, if you are talking to a sociologist, obviously they will be having a lot of experience in their own field, and they will obviously definitely be having valid proofs. For example, when talking to a journalist, he will tell you that he has worked for 10 years in this organization, he has worked for 20 years in this organization, or he has been an officer in the information and broadcasting departments, and so on and so forth. So these will be his valid proofs, and obviously these valid proofs will add on to his experience, and you can ask him questions, and then he can specifically answer your questions in the right way, and which will help you in your research. Also, the qualitative research helps us to find solutions in complex situations, in complex environments, in complex fields where you cannot wait something, where you have to talk to people and know what they want. So there you can use the qualitative way of doing research. In the qualitative way of doing research, you have to ask as much as many questions. You have to ask to the valid sources, to the valid people, so that you can get good information regarding your research. The qualitative research, as the name suggests, is focused on quality. For example, if you have two sources, one is having 5 years experience, another is having 15 years of experience, and the one who is having 15 years of experience, he is having an experience on the national level, and the one who's having 5 years experience is having experience on in the state level or a local level or a regional level. To whom will you ask the questions? The another point of the qualitative research is the essence. The essence of the qualitative research is human experience. And now, when we move on to the philosophy of qualitative research, what is the philosophy behind the qualitative research? Qualitative research is subjective. That means it's based upon human experiences, it's based upon human opinions, it's based upon feelings, personal feelings, and feelings related to things, feelings related to the happenings in the society, feelings related to different environments. So the first point of the philosophy of qualitative research is it is subjective. It's based on opinions of person, it's based on human opinion, experiences, it's based on feelings, and it's based on the personal contact or the personal attachment towards some environment, towards some place, towards any subject, etc. So another point of the philosophy of qualitative research is among the elements of communication or communication research, it focuses more on the first element, that is the source. Who is the source? What is his experience? How much wisdom he has? How much knowledge he has? And what quality of experience, what quality of knowledge he can share with me. That is the another point of the philosophy of the qualitative research. It means that among the five elements of communication or communication research, the source, the message, the channel or the medium, the audience, and the effect, it for qualitative research focused on the first element, the source. Another philosophy or another philosophical point of this qualitative research is that it is based on constructivism. Constructivism, basically defined as when you teach something to someone, you teach him on the basis of what he already knows, what is his or her past experiences. You teach him related to that. The philosophy of qualitative research, constructivism is also included, as it's based on the qualitative research is based on the learner's understanding of a subject, the learner's experience of a subject. Even it, for example, if I am doing a research, so when I am asking questions to someone, when I am doing in-depth research, be it interviewing face to face or sending mails or following on social media or asking direct one-to-one questions or reading from literature. So when I do all these things, there is definitely my own understanding also. When I then conclude something from that what I have read from the literature, from that what I have learned from asking questions or from getting replies or from getting answers, when I write it down, when I finally draft my answer, when I finally draft my research, obviously my own understanding, my own knowledge, my own experiences, or my own subjectiveness will definitely add on to that. Also, this qualitative research has this constructivism approach. I can add here that when we talk of the epistemology or the ontology, epistemology field which is related to knowing the knowledge, studying the knowledge, and obviously definitely it is directly related to communication, or ontology, which is based on the things which exist in the social world, which exist in the social life, in the social world, because humans themselves are social animals and they live in a society, they live in a complex society with different hierarchies, with different systems, with different cultures, language, religions, castes, creeds. Constructivism approach of qualitative research is also directly related to these two fields of knowledge, the epistemology and the ontology. And these are two also being branches of social sciences. Also, when we talk about the philosophy of qualitative research, it's based on interpretative approach. What you as a researcher interpret and what your resource has interpreted from his or her experiences or from his or her knowledge. So you as well as your source interprets things. For example, there are two people working in the same office on the same post, but definitely when you ask a question, same question to both of them, definitely the replies will be different. Maybe the crux may be same, but it would never be 100% the same reply. Some would be having a different experience. One will say, oh, this office is very good, or this field or this department is very good and I have learned a lot. Another will say, oh no, it's not that good, or the people are not that helpful. It also depends on what kind of experience they have with the people, with their bosses, with their seniors, with their juniors, and what kind of environment both of them are working. For example, if one of them would have been given an AC room and another is not having an AC room because he is having some kind of a, so obviously he will have a different experience. So, but if you definitely ask him or her, both of them the same question, their answers will vary. Even if they are in working in the same room, they are working in the same environment, they have been given both of them have been given the same facilities, but still 100% is that the answers, the replies of both of them will be totally different. So it's based on actually their interpretation of the environment they are living in, and definitely each individual has a different interpretation even of the same environment in which they are living. What is the main goal of doing a qualitative research? The main goal of doing a qualitative research is to generate a hypothesis and to describe and discover a theory. This is the main goal of qualitative research. Moving towards the quantitative research, as I've already told you that quantitative research is mostly done in the science field, where we weight something, where we measure something. So as I've already said that the difference between qualitative and quantitative is, take example of a man, take example of a person, and as per quantitative research, he has he's made up of meat. He has 206 bones. He has organs. He has sensory organs, and this is as per this is a description of a man, of a human being, as per quantitative research. Scientific style of research. How much? How many? Based on experiments, based on measurable factors. And what's the philosophy behind the quantitative research? It is positivism. In simple terms, positivism means that if you are doing some kind of a research, your own being, you being an observer or a researcher, won't influence your research. In qualitative research, your own understanding, your own knowledge also will help interpret your research. But here, if you are doing an experiment in a chemistry lab, what you are, who you are, what your own knowledge is, that won't have any direct effect on the research you are doing as per quantitative research. The philosophy of quantitative research says physical and social phenomenon are independent of observer goals of observation. It includes prediction, control, confirmations, and testing. When we talk of the design characteristics, first of the quantitative and then also of the qualitative. So when we talk of the design characteristics of quantitative research is a structured research. This is your first step, this is your second step, this is your third step, and then you will get the result. In most of the quantitative research, you are predetermined. You have established or decided that what will be the result, what will be the outcome. And when we talk of the design characters of the qualitative research, it is flexible, that there's a possibility of modifications or changes, or you can get a different source, a different knowledge while doing your research, and you can change your research accordingly. It is adaptable, and many a times in qualitative research you are not sure what new you are going to find. And another design characteristic of the qualitative research is that it is evolving, it's developing, and it's developing gradually. As compared to the quantitative research, qualitative research is emergent, it slowly comes to the fore. So the design characteristics of qualitative research are: it is flexible, it's emerging, and it's evolving.